I'm Margarita Gokun-Silver from the Global Coach Center, and I would like to welcome you to this preview of the Global Coach Center webinar on culture shock. We will be offering this on November 10th and November 12th, 2009. The two dates are designed to fit the schedules of Europe and America and then Asia Pacific, and we would really love for you to join us. We're going to be discussing culture shock and 3 ways or 3 steps to manage culture shock with every transition that you have. And the reason we would love for you to join us is because we believe that the way we look at culture shock and the system we offer differs very much from everything out there. And I'll explain a little bit how it differs. If you know about culture shock, and even if you don't, I'll give you a little preview here. People usually describe culture shock as something consisting of 5 steps. It's a process that people go through when they move abroad or to another culture or even to another area where culture is different from their own. And the process they go through is identified as consisting of about 5 stages. The first stage is what they call the honeymoon stage, where everything seems wonderful and interesting and full of adventure. The second stage is when people really start living the life in their new culture and they begin to encounter problems and troubles and understanding that really life is not the same as what they used to back home or in a previous country. Third stage comes when people are getting a little more used to their lives, and so they're beginning to manage it a little better. The fourth stage is when you're very used to it, you really like it, you enjoy living there. And the fifth stage is when you return home. That's called re-entry shock, and that's very common for expatriates who move out a lot. When they come back home 20 years later, things have changed. That's the way that traditionally people have looked at the culture shock. We're offering a new way of looking at culture shock, and I will summarize the 2 out of 3 steps that we will be discussing at the webinar. Those 2 steps are based on what I call a relationship approach. And what is a relationship approach? Well, as human beings, we're used to having relationships with other humans or with animals or pets. And when we have relationships with other humans, be it our spouses, our children, our financial advisors, we pretty much know how to manage them. And even if we don't, there is a wealth of information out there to learn how to make your relationship better. I propose that we look at culture shock from the point of view of a relationship as well. But instead of a relationship with another human being, we look at it as a relationship with another culture. And we apply the same rules that any relationship would that you would apply to any relationship with a human being. And once we take that perspective on our relationship with another culture, we realize that the rules of the relationship and the tools that have been out there and available for us to improve regular relationships very much work as well with the culture shock. And so we can use them over and over again when we move. We don't need to wait until we go from stage 2 to stage 5 to stage 3 or to stage 4. No, it all is in our hands because we can manage relationships and we can make them better. And so this is why we find that our system that we offer is quite unique. It hasn't been offered anywhere as far as dealing with culture shock is concerned in this way. And that's why we would like to invite you to our webinar and to learn the system so that next time you move, next time you transition, things will be easier for you. You can learn more about this webinar by going to our blog at www.globalcoachcenter.wordpress.com. There is a large amount of information available there. There are information also on how to register. The webinar will run for about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. It is going through the web system, so you don't need any phones, you don't need long distance phone calls. All you need is a computer and access to the web and the mic. The webinar will be very interactive. We are having a very small group for that webinar, for both of those webinars. We want to give people an opportunity to share because this is what it is about. It's about sharing and learning from each other as well as learning from the teacher. So we hope you can join us. Again, it's November 10th and November 12th, 2009. And the website is again www.globalcoachcenter.wordpress.com. Thank you, and we hope to see you there.